Hello everyone, welcome again. And today we'll see a complete automation, like not complete automation. We are going to just automate the registration and the login page into the Testcafe. So this is JavaScript tool. Testcafe is a JavaScript tool, and you can perform the automation operation over there. So we'll see how can we can proceed for it. So okay, so to apply the Testcafe automation, we are using Visual Studio Code. You can easily download it and you can use it. Also, we are preparing a complete Testcafe automation Testcafe automation over the codec. So you can go through with this tool and this tutorials. It will help you to do basic setups like how can you install Node.js in your machine and how can you perform some simple operation and just go through with that. I will share the link in the description box. And now we have this website, and this is a job portal website, and currently it's running in my local machine, and I'm going to live automate it live and how we can extract the elements and how can we create a automation script for this. Okay, so I move to my Visual Studio and I'm just going to create a new project here. So let's say uh, registration. The form project name is login and registration. Let's say log and registration. Okay. Okay. Path does not exist. Okay. So let's create a new folder. Give it the same path. And now the Visual Studio is open in new. Okay, the first step, I have the Testcafe installed in my machine globally, but still I will show you how can you install that Testcafe in your machine. So go to the terminal, open the new terminal and insert the command here, install npm install Testcafe. That's it. Okay, so it will take some time and automatically the Testcafe will install in your machine. And meanwhile, now let's check how can we until this is installing in this project. Let's move to the website and check what are the attributes that we are going to use. So to automate this registration form, we must need to extract these elements. So to extract these elements, I just right click here, inspect element and check what are the attributes are available that are the unique over there. So you can see there is no id, so I can use the first name. I think this is the unique one. Yeah, I can use this. Also you can, if you want to create a custom XPath, you can use crowpath is an extension that is available over the Google. So I'm just doing crowpath extension. Just add this extension in your Google Chrome and automatically it will give you some suggestions for to get the XPath. So we are just going to use ID and all. So we don't need to create a XPath, or also we can create a custom XPath by using the ID and all. But we have this I name and ID is unique in my waveform, so we can directly use it. And in case you are facing many obstacles, the main challenge during the automation is get the XPath or get the selector. So you can discuss with your dev team and tell them to add a unique attribute for the test data. So you will be easy to extract the data from there. Okay, now I guess let's check this. Yeah, it's still in process. We have to wait more, and once it will done, I will back and start the automation for it. Okay. The execution is done. Now if you see, automatically one file is created, that is a package lock.json, and there is some configuration thing, so just ignore it and leave it as it is. Don't make any changes over there. Now let's start the project. So I'll start the project. Let's say npm init, and it will ask you for the package name. So I just want to version, description, you can keep anything, entry, test command, get repository, keyword, and author name. Once all is done, automatically it will create a package.json. This will be your project configuration file If required, we'll discuss about it in later. Okay, now let's create a new folder. The folder name should be test case. In my case, I'm keeping it test case. You can keep anything. And under this, I'm going to create a file which is test.js. Under this, I'm going to implement the test cases for registration form and login form. So that what I need the very first I need to import the required library. Then I can start the project. So I'm just going to add import. The first thing what I need to import, sorry, is selector. So import selector and the T from Testcafe. Yeah, we can say we can use double quote to single quote, that doesn't matter. And after that, what I need to use a fixture that will help me to arrange the test case. If you don't know what is fixture and how to use, again I will suggest you to go there and check Testcafe fixtures. It will help you to understand what is fixture and examples and all. Okay, so let's create a fixture. Fixture will be let's create a fixture, and under this fixture just assign a name, and assign a name. So it's like, let's say, automate login and registration form. So scope of this fixture will be in this complete test file. So this is a common file, this is a common name for complete this test.js file. Now, what I need to do, I need to load a URL whenever this test case file will run. So I'm going to enter a dot page, and under this page I'm going to enter my URL name. So what URL I'm going to use, and this is my registration page. And let's say enter the root URL of the application, then we'll move there one by one. Okay, so we have this welcome page. So I just copy this URL and it's running in my localhost. Okay, after this, what I need to define the test cases. So let's define now, finally define the test. So test one. Okay, here we need to enter the test case name. So let's say register. First, let's inform login form. Login user with valid username. With valid username and password. So this is the meaningful name over there. And then create a method here, async t function. That's it. Now we have defined async function, and now under this we'll write the complete login, like login test case. Okay. So first, if you see if you notice the URL that will launch, then what operation I need to perform? I need to perform wait t dot click. On which button I need to click? I need to click on this login button. So let's inspect the login and check what are the attributes is there. So here we have a unique name here with login, and the element is anchor tag. Okay, so let's say click on selector, and selector name is A with text login. So this is another way to finding the elements. Just what I'm using here, I'm using selector from the Testcafe library and going to find out anchor tag with text login. So this will become a unique element, and the Testcafe will click on this. Okay, now the click is done, and we can little bit format it. That's it. Now what I need to do, I need to enter some text into this username and the password. So let's find out again this XPath, and here we have an ID, so we can directly use email underscore address as an ID, but the command will be type text. dot, it should be okay, then terminate it. So type text, what type I need to enter text. The first thing will be always selector. So selector is, this time we are using ID. So I just enter his email username. What I need to insert there in this field, I need to insert a username. So if I view my data well, this is the correct username for this user. I just enter it. Another thing, now I have to enter some password, password into password field. So I again grab this ID and then type text selector, and the selector ID is password, and the password is, I guess, 123. Am I correct? Yes, it's 123. Okay. Now, if user is logged in successfully, then what thing we need to verify to pass this test? Let's suppose we are sign in and okay, we have this welcome message. We can verify this. Again, this message come into the S3 tag and we can verify the exact text. Okay, dot expect selector. What selector is there is H3 with exact text, and enter the text here, and we can say dot exist. Okay, if this will pass, it means, if this will pass, it means the test case user is able to log in and the test case is passed. After this, we'll create a registration form. Okay, now run this application. To run the application, we can use a command called Testcafe, Testcafe, Chrome, and Testcafe is a tool. Chrome is a browser on which we are going to targeting to run this application and run this automation test script. And then we need to enter the file name. So if you notice here, we have a file, a test.js under this Testcafe folder. Also we can want to ignore the error, so I want just adding /e, and as I enter, automatically the browser should open and the URL should be load and they perform some operation. Just taking some time because lots of application is running in my machine, so it's processing bit slow because I have a Eclipse ID, STS ID to grab to view the project. The project is also running over there. Okay, so browser is open now and there is some error. Okay, so what is the error? I cannot find the test file. Following is in Testcafe login registration. Check the finder for the error. Okay, there is something wrong. Okay, the error is that we are passing the wrong path. If you see here, the test case is the name of the folder, but we are passing here test cases. So just make some changes in this, and that's it. I think now it's correct. Test case, and under the test case we have test.js file. That's it. Hope it will run this time. Okay, the browser is launched, application is launched. Click into the login, and we missed one thing. We didn't click on the button. Okay, before this we have to perform a click operation to click on the login button. So selector I'm going to use here. Let's see what are the selectors are available for the login button. So we have here class that is dot button. Okay, dot btn. That's it. Let's run it again. Yeah, it's logged in successfully and Testcafe is passed. So this is all about how can we perform a login operation and verify the user is logged in or not successfully into the application. And now let's perform another operation, that is help us to get a registered user. So let's create another test case and test register user. And again, I'm going to use this format so it will save our time. So let's just change the test case name, say register. And what happened, once this test case will execute, the new session, new page will be loaded like this, okay, for this. And then what we are going to do, we are going to click on this sign up button. So what is the name of sign in button? It's sign up, and it's again on the anchor tag. So I just need to change the validator here, selector here, and then we need to enter some text, type text. So let's say I want to enter some name into the first name. So I'm gonna change this selector as a direct attribute, and let's suppose I'm gonna enter some name, some random name, and another field we have as a last name. So let's enter type text, select last name, and I'm gonna enter some last name. And there are many data over there, so it's login id time. So I just create a login id. Do we have an id with this? Yes, we have an email address as an id. So again, I'm going to use dot type text and selector, and under the selector I just enter the id and enter a demo id, so demo at the rate gmail.com, and then password. Again, we have id for the password as well. So okay, I'm gonna use this two times. I'm going to copy this type text two times, one for password, one for confirm password. So we have an id here as a password, so I just enter password, and the password I keep 123, and for the confirm password, again we have an id as a password, but the name is confirm password. So for the unique, I'm going to use the name. No, not here. Yeah, and confirm password should be same, otherwise it will give an error. So I'm going to use 123, and then we have a date of birth. So we have a name id as a date picker. Okay, so again I'm going to use, how many fields are there? 1 2 3. Okay, so I'm going to use copy three times. So 1 2 and 3. So first one is a hashtag has date picker. Date picker is for date field, and again we have an id for the id is showing wrong here. It's showing gmail address, but it's a gender. So let's use the name. Okay, gender, let's say m, and another is the last one is a email. So I'm going to use this mobile number field as a name. So mobile, and enter some dummy mobile. Okay, now finally click onto the sign up button. So we have this primary key. Okay, that's okay. Once the user is done, then we'll verify the exact letter. like what are the results which should be there. So I'm gonna comment out this. Okay, I just want to run the only registration form over there for now. So I just add a tag here, method here, test dot only, and let's run it again and check the output. I think hopefully it will run and create any trouble. Okay, click on sign up. Enter the name, please. No, there is some conflict. We need some unique IDs to automate this registration form, I guess. Okay, let's check the error and try to solve it. Okay, here it's asking for the selector first name is doesn't match. Okay, we can find out the solution, but it's not a proper solution. What the proper solution? We need a unique ID in this registration form. Like, how can you perform that unique ID? Just how can you add the unique ID over there? So we can do some steps in our code. We need to make changes into the code, and then we can perform this operation. Other operation we can create a custom path. Like, how we can create a custom path? Like, this is an input field. Input, this is an input field. So I can use slash double slash input. Okay, and input name equals to first. It's not the same one. Okay, at the rate attribute name is this one. I think it will work. Let's check. I will show you like different operations. So if you might face this kind of issue during your automation, so how can you solve them live? So we have tried some attribute directly, that is not working. Some issues there. So we are just change the XPath and create one custom XPath and going to use that. But that is also not working. So the better way, I will show you. Like, I have this code, and we are working on the registration page, and how can I modify the registration page data. So I just move to my registration view, and here I will change some attributes here. Now we have here what we have as a registration. This is a hidden field again. What we need, we need some ID, so data ID for the first name. So let's say this is the field where we are managing the first name. So in the input, let's say I added id equals to, and I added the ID as f name, and I'm just relaunching the application, and I just going to show you the demo. How can you like use these operations, and later on you can perform this on each and every field. And if you don't have access for the data like code, you can ask your development team to do this in this. And now if you see, we have an ID as a f name, and now I will change in my Testcafe the ID here. So I just add has ID, that's it. Now you will see this test will run. Okay, let's comment out the other thing. Let's remove this, and it will enter the first name, and then let's keep some weight so you can easily check it out. Wait for 10,000. 10 second. Okay, let's run it again and check. So by using id or some specific selectors that is always available on the page, you can perform automation. See, the first name is enter over there now, and also after 10 seconds it will click on the sign up button. We have comment out other options, so we will not comment rest of it. Okay, so test case is passed. Okay, so what is, you can perform the registration. Also I will add a article over there over the codec, and whatever the code I'm performing here, I will keep push the code here. I will give the code here and share the link with you in the description box. You can check the link. Okay, thank you. If you have any question, you can comment us, or you can read out all the basic things and detailed thing available over the codec about the Testcafe automation framework. And please subscribe to get more video on the Testcafe and other automation tools and development related to Java. Thank you.